Shasky, you got something that's on your mind that has nothing to do with football.
So we make so much about how, they needed to build a stadium. I'm just going to be very quick on this, all right? Levi Stadium, all right? You and I have been an opportunity to been to a lot of different stadiums and seen SoFi and how it's laid out, and people are like, oh, the traffic getting in and out of SoFi Stadium is way easier than Levi's.
So easier than Levi's.
All right? Here's my biggest beef, and it's not location, okay? I just, bear with me, people. It's not just location. That is well established. It's in the middle of nowhere, okay? Here's my biggest problem with Levi Stadium. We are 10 years in. 10 years in, Bonte. Every single week, getting into the stadium, the routing changes based off the cones. Every single week, getting out of the stadium, the cones change again. Yeah. Week to week to week, it is never the same. When you go out of that parking lot, does it not change every single week?
It's a nightmare. Let me tell you, though, because I left the house at about 11:35. I got there about 12:15-ish. The car wasn't parked till 12:50. So we were scrambling and I barely made it to my seat by kickoff. Had to just bypass the beers and all that stuff. But leaving, what I do now is I leave a couple minutes early, and I just maneuver the gates, and I'm getting out of there. I got to do what I got to do. I do some things that are illegal, and if I get caught, probably getting the ticket, probably getting pulled over. But you got to do what you got to do because it is a nightmare.
It's a nightmare, and I want to be fully transparent here. From my understanding, and someone could come in and correct me, I would love to be corrected and have the specifics, but I talked to a couple of the different police officers that were out on the street. I'm like, who is setting up the cones to leave here? And they're like, CHP. I'm like, can we at least get on the same page and get the map mapped out? Sometimes you can go left on some blocks on Patrick Henry. Sometimes you have to go right. Sometimes you got to take whatever it is, the 101 North or 101 South. Sometimes you have to go 101 South to get back north and hang a U-turn. It's absolutely out of control. And all I say is this. We're 10 years in. Can we just figure out where the cones need to be once you leave the parking lots?
It's not a fun experience getting into that parking lot. Getting down there is easy. Getting into that parking lot, nightmarish.
Complete disaster.
Nightmarish. Let's go to Ryan in Sacramento. Ryan.
I'm done. I say it every week. I say it every week.
It's a nightmare. Ryan in Sacramento, what's happening? You're on the road. And Ryan's listening via the Odyssey app, by the way.
Thank you.
There you go. What's
Ryan.
up, Ryan?
Yeah, I am. Hey, how you guys doing? Long-time listener, first-time caller.
Thank you, brother.
Hey, I was gonna call in yesterday and go down the rabbit hole with everybody else about giving up free picks for Trey Lance and what we saw yesterday and what happened to him. Thought it was awful, but hey, I wanted to talk about something maybe a little bit different this morning, just based on what I saw on the doubleheader on Monday night last night. Just like I said, kind of going down a different route because it was kind of depressing to me, because I love my Niners. Went to Candlestick as a kid, been there through thick and thin. Last night I'm seeing the Bills, Josh Allen slinging around, the stadium going nuts. They look awesome, and I followed Shanahan's comment on, saying, hey, have you seen Josh Allen? They run that same play. I didn't see that play at all.
He had one scramble, and it's really hard to hear you right now. So I appreciate you calling again. Josh Allen had one scramble rush last night. Here's what I would say to everyone, okay? Because I saw this on the timeline. Whether it's Jalen Hurts' game, whether it's Josh Allen's game, we've got to stop doing comparative shopping in general, right? It's unfair to Trey Lance to compare him to Mahomes and Josh Allen. It's unfair to compare him to even Jalen Hurts.
Right.
It's unfair to compare all these guys to each other. All you can do is worry about this guy's situation and where he's at. You know why Josh Allen doesn't run around as much? Well, there's a couple of reasons, but first and foremost, he's advanced dramatically as a passer. I'm the biggest Josh Allen fan and have been since his college days. I've got the tweets to back it up. But the one thing that he's done over the last couple of years is improved his accuracy, and I go back to the brains because this is the most important thing at quarterback. It's the pre-snap mentals, knowing who to identify. Josh Allen has become the orchestra conductor at the line of scrimmage, so you have to give him credit there. Now, when we look at Jalen Hurts and you're watching him, and I know people are losing their mind, look at how he's running and look at how he's throwing. He's played a lot of football. A lot of football. He's been in a variety of systems.
Alabama, Oklahoma, learned from, who was his coach? Lane Kiffin was his coach at Alabama.
And then he went to Lincoln Riley.
Yep, no doubt.
And here's what I would say about Jalen Hurts. he has dramatically improved his ability to throw.
Yep.
And a lot of the stuff that he did with the legs, the way he ran in college, if you watch him, he literally couldn't throw in college. Yep. Okay? Couldn't throw at all. And look where he's at now. But they have run a system that clearly fits him. I just don't think it's a like-for-like comp. I don't like the comparative shopping of going, look at Jalen, look at Josh Allen in both directions. I think it's unfair. But
they've also built around those quarterbacks, I think, in a way that
I
the
agree
Niners
there.
failed Trey Lance.
That I agree with.
You bring back Debo and you have Ayuk, that's great. George Kittle. But what else did you add to this offense? Your offensive line depreciated.
Agreed.
This year.
Agreed.
The line was better last year than it is right now. And so you got three guys in the interior. Jalen Hurts and the Eagles, they say, okay, how do we help out Jalen Hurts? They got smoked in playoffs against Tampa Bay. He did not look good. They said, you know what? We're going to give Jalen Hurts another shot. Let's go trade for A.J. Brown. Let's go get a dynamic wide receiver
draft
to pair
Devontae.
him with Devontae Smith.
Yes.
We already have a tight end in Dallas Goedert.
Yep.
Now we have running backs. Our offensive line is stable and wholesome. And now we have a defense as well. We could play complementary football around Jalen Hurts. What did Buffalo do early in Josh Allen's career? They went to go trade for Stephon Diggs. All right? They got a stable of running backs. Zach Moss, Singletary, James Cook. They got weapons on the outside. They lose Chad Beasley. They don't even blink an eye. They got Dawson Knox at tight end. And they built the offensive line. They built around those players. The Niners, knowing that they had Trey Lance ready to go for this season, built to build around him, in my opinion.
Well, and I think the other thing, and this is a very important nuance when you're watching Jalen Hurts, they spread it out wide, which fits him, and then it puts more DBs who are smaller out onto the field, and then they run to the edges. And Jalen is a thicker, better runner right now than what Trey Lance is. Like, I would say, if you watch the body of work of Jalen Hurts, and then you compared that to the body of work of Trey Lance. I'm talking about going back to college. Jalen's legs have always been his primary tool.
Right.
Always. In fact, most people like myself were like, he's probably not a quarterback. I don't even know.
But you know what? We all forget about those deep balls he was throwing at Alabama. He threw a lot of great deep balls at Alabama.
He did. They had so many weapons. It's hard for me to
but he was throwing
determine.
stuff on the money, though.
I know.
He was throwing stuff on the money.